What's going on, guys? I hope you're doing very well. It's game week 8 here on Sorare NBA. I'm going to run you through my lineups again. I had another reward. We keep hitting rewards, which is a good sign. I'm going to show you that reward as well. I'd have already opened it, show you my lineups, and yeah, we're going to talk Sorare NBA and everything from it. Let's get into the video. Oh yeah, and how could I forget? We brought a big MVP into the gallery. Come on. Before we do jump into this video though, can I please ask for you to consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Also hit the like button if you're enjoying the content that we're doing here on the NBA for our podcast, but also the Sorare videos that I bring you. Right then, so I mean, as I said at the top of the video just a moment ago, we brought a big MVP into the gallery. PS, drop me a follow on Sorare, yeah? Anyway, cool. MVP in question, without a doubt. I said this on Sorare Sharps, which is on Team Hold's YouTube channel I do with Mike every Wednesday. Giannis Antetokounmpo is coming into the gallery. It's just a no-brainer for me. His price is at a, not all-time low, I don't think, but this season at an all-time low. For the Season 2 card, which can help in the in-season tournament come in, and just in general, having the new cards this year, I think there's going to be a few more incentives to have them. So it was a combined effort of factors that was like a no-brainer pickup for me. With that said, let's build a lineup and have him in it. Why not? We'll start with the commons, though, because as ever, I give the common card away if I win a reward. We are so close every week to winning one. Last week was the same, so hopefully this one is going to be better. Let's check it out. Okay then, so for the common mode, like I said, I'm going to give the card away if I win a limited one. Luka Doncic MVP and Domantas Sabonis is going to go in there alongside him. I'm not going to play Kawhi Leonard because I'm avoiding absolutely everything that the Clippers have like the plague currently. Until they figure their whole thing out, whatever their thing is going to be, I'm not really interested in either Westbrook or Leonard. Leonard? Kawhi. Who says Leonard? In any case, Marcus Smart, I've targeted this because I think he's going to come back against the game against Boston and be like, yeah, you shouldn't have traded me. And that's what I think is going to happen. So I'm going to put Marcus Smart in there. I do like PJ Washington coming off the back of quite a good game for Charlotte as well. And then I don't like Royce O'Neal with that one game, so Rui Hachimura is going to go in there. I could try and find a way of getting Malik Beasley in because I do think at 17 he's still too low. But for the time being, that's going to be the lineup that's set there. All you got to do is leave your Sorare name and talk about Sorare in the comments to be involved, and also, of course, be subscribed to the channel. On to the limited lineups. Yes, that's right. I'm actually starting with my limited champion one. I've not scrapped it and forgotten to say the in-season tournament. I'm going to build that one after my limited lineups. But Luka Doncic is going to be my MVP. Why? Because he's not got an in-season tournament game this week. The schedule was tweeted out and you could plan in some ways. Didn't necessarily plan it all out, but Luka's going to be my MVP in this one. I'm also going to throw Joel Embiid in here. And I know that you're like, damn, that's a big L10 chunk that's just come out. I'm going to rectify that. I'm going to take maybe an ill-advised. I'm not sure I would advise this as a play. I've just got a feeling that against Portland and Houston, AD is not going to play both these games, or the Lakers have got potential to blow out Portland, in which Jackson Hayes becomes a decent play again. And we saw the other night against the Grizzlies, he can do this for the Lakers. He got a 26 of an L10 of 5. If you're getting 5x your L10, I want to take the gamble. And it also allows me then to go and pick up and play a Mo Wagner. Now, obviously, Mo Wagner is someone that's going to be projecting well. And I've spoken about this with people beforehand in terms of where do I see projections and so on and so forth. I think that they're a combined. They're really, really helpful, but I wouldn't ever take them as gospel. Like, trust your own instincts if you think a player is going to be a good play or not. But Mo Wagner is going to go in there for me as well. He's got 2 games against Chicago and Indiana. Obviously, he's teeing that out with George in terms of who's going to get the center position and more minutes, but obviously there's no Wendell Carter Jr. So Mo Wagner is going to go in there for me. You can see there's 42 left, so it's got to be a big hitter. Sabone. His fixtures this week are so good. San Antonio and Dallas, especially that Dallas game, I think he's going to do really, really well. So for the time being, playing the Jackson Hayes allows me, I was going to choke there, allows me to play the 3 of these in a champion lineup. So for the time being, that's going to be, I could say the time being again if I wanted to, but that's going to be my lineup. We'll do Contender, we'll do Underdog, then we'll do in-season tournament. Right then, for my limited Contender lineup, who would I be if I didn't play Jackson Hayes in both of these lineups, if I'm talking about him on the gamble? And obviously, look, don't hold me accountable to this. If when the lock happens on the Friday evening, if there's big injury news and someone that's a better player is available, I'm going to change the lineup for it. But for the time being, I do think Jackson Hayes is going to be a good one. And I do have multiple versions that I bought of him last week. He's still quite cheap to pick up as well. He hasn't spiked because of the big game performance. In any case, to round this up now, I've got 26 to play with for 4 cards, which is so much better. I think Jeremy Grant is a really solid option in Contender this week. Most weeks he's going to be quite good for the foreseeable future because Portland just literally have him. That's it. That he is the main guy now. I know that they've got a few other pieces. They've got Ayton and whatnot, and Skylar Mars looks quite good, but he's the highest paid player on the team by a mile. He will be getting the ball when he wants it. It's just how I see this happening. So for me, he's a no-brainer. I think this is the lineup this week where I'm going to put Jordan Poole. I don't trust him in a champion lineup with 1 game at an L10 of 24. I really like Jordan Clarkson this week. I know he's playing the Suns and he's got 2 games, and this is when Booker, Beal, and Durant are finally going to play. But I think he's a solid option for a suggested lineup this week. And then it comes down to 2. It comes down to De'Anthony Melton, and it comes down to Jabari Smith Jr. And now, I don't want to say that he's been bad, but he hasn't hit the heights of a consistent level of which I would be comfortable enough playing him. But the Clippers are an absolute mess, and that makes me want to play him. Alternatively, I've got Dylan Brooks, again, another guy on the Rockets, and Dylan Brooks is such a hot and cold player. If he has those defensive actions and he's really locked in like he potentially could be against the Lakers, then yeah, but as we've seen as well, you can go the other way and drop an 8 and then that ruins your entire lineup. De'Anthony Melton seems to be the guy where he'll be a level of consistency but also has a ceiling in him. And this is because of what you see where just right now with Embiid and Maxey, Philly are on such a good run, which is lovely to see. But he's benefiting of it, of the fact that he just wants to get shots up. And now that Kelly Oubre Jr. unfortunately got hit by that car and he's going to miss some time, he's the guy that is getting all of the shots for it. So actually, I think I'm going to lean on De'Anthony Melton, leave a little bit of cap space remaining, but that's going to be my my current lineup for it. I mean, obviously, I could also put Jackson Hayes out and put Shake Milton in, who is more of a sort of banker to get that 15 to 20 is what I'd say on those nights. But I want to live life with Jackson Hayes currently, and that's how we're going to go. Underdog next. We love some limited underdog in these parts of town. In these parts of town, is that what I'm saying? Let me know how you're feeling limited underdog. Do you actually actively go out and search for these guys each week that you want to target as if they're the really cheap guys? Because I don't know about you, but would you not want to then just play them in champion or contender? Would you target underdog as your main one? That's how I'm just interested to know. I'd like to know how you guys feel about that. I'm going to throw another Jackson Hayes because I bought 4 of them at one stage. So Jackson Hayes is going to go in here as well. Daniel House Jr. is going to get some minutes, I feel, because of obviously Robert Covington's in the lineup. Batum's been out. So I feel like it could stretch to him if they're winning one of these games by a comfortable margin, or alternatively, they're losing by a comfortable margin. Shake Milton's also going to go in here. I know he's only got 1 game, but I trust him to get minutes. Paul Reed is also going to go in here, an L10 of 12. I do think Embiid might. There's a chance he sits. He's been questionable a couple of times recently, but still played. So I feel a rest game might be coming soon. That then leaves us with 30 left. 30 I can do some things with. Lou Dort. Killian Hayes has actually been getting some decent minutes. And he's been putting up decent games. In fact, if I get rid of Milton, put Paul Reed in that position there, that leaves me with 19. Can I get 2 decent 19 picks in here? Julius Champagnie, I know he started a game for the Spurs. Did he do well? He got 41. We could go with some Champagnie. And then we could throw Sam Hauser in because Sam Hauser's been looking really, really strong. So I think actually that looks a little bit better, you know. So we're going to roll with that for limited underdog. In-season tournament lineup next, and then my rare lineups. Let's go. Cat's out the bag. I'm not even going to tease you with it. Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be my MVP for the in-season tournament game. Obviously, they've only got 1 game each, but it is against Charlotte. So, yeah, if he's going to do anything and if he plays, he should be a pretty smash pick this week. Now, we need to have 3 Season 2 cards. That is the main sort of factor when you're building these lineups. And every week I've played Russell Westbrook, and every week he's been a big fat disappointment. He's coming down in L10 quite drastically now because obviously of everything of what you can see on screen here. And you know what? He's playing the Rockets, and that's sort of like a revenge tour game. So we're going to throw him in again. He's at 16% for me now, but he's also a Season 2 card. Bobby Portis is the interesting one. I don't know if I want to put Bobby Portis in this lineup because I feel like I can have something quite competitive in the rare contender space with him. So I'm actually going to put Julius Randle in, who's got a game against Washington. I like the matchup with him, and I have a Season 2 card. So it made sense for me. 35 L10 left to play with. Let's look at the rares of what I've got in terms of this scope. We've got a Jaylen Brown, we've got a Drew Holiday, and Aaron Gordon. I think Jeremy Grant at 31 could, every time that happens. I think Jeremy Grant and L10 at 31 could be quite decent this week. That would also then leave me with a little bit extra to play with. And if I pick 31, that's going to leave me with 39, a little bit short for Dame Lillard over there. 39 does afford me a Kuzma. I'd love Paul George in this. I don't want to pick Harden. But you know what? Vucevic going back to Orlando yet again. He's been putting up strong minutes, and I think he might be the one that stays at Chicago if they do end up blowing it up. So Nikola Vucevic is going to round off that lineup, and we're done. Right, rare contender is where we're going to start here. And look, I know I've been banging the Jackson Hayes drum this week. I'm not sure I want to gamble him in every single lineup, especially when I think I can put a strong rare one, especially with how hard it is to win in rare as well. Andrew Wiggins at 16 is nuts, especially when you're going to have... I don't think Clay's going to get suspended. Draymond is definitely going to get suspended. So there's going to be a little bit more of the ball to go around, even though Draymond doesn't demand it that much. But Wiggins at 16 is a smash pick for me. Gary Trent Jr. as well at 18. He's day-to-day, and Gary Trent Jr. loves an injury. But if he can play that Detroit game, it just looks so, so nice for 18 of an L10. So I'm going to put him in there as well. Now, Bobby Portis, I'm not sure I want to throw him in yet, but I think I want to put him in champion. And as such, Jordan Poole's going to be a contender guy for me because I don't like the one game like I've said before. Malcolm Brogdon is day-to-day with this hamstring injury. There's no official timeline set, but if he plays, I'm playing him. He's a no-brainer. He will outperform 26 of an L10, the biggest banker if he plays normal minutes. And then Marcus Smart, like I said before, I think he's going to do well in that Boston game. So that's my contending lineup. Let's actually stay with me. Let's go and do my champion one. Did I have an underdog one done then? Did I do that at the start? No, I didn't. Rare champion. Devin Booker's back. So Devin Booker's going to be my MVP. He's got 2 games against the Jazz. There is potential he sits one because they might just be like, we're going to manage his calf. But for now, I'm going to play him. Even if he plays 1, I'm going to play him, if I'm being completely honest. If I go and put Bobby Portis in there, I just want to see what that allows me to do. So that gives me 32 to play with. That's not great, is it? Because a lot of these guys I want in here. I'd want Dame in this one because he's got 2 games this week. That then leaves me with 28. This might be the play. Hang on. This could be... It's a risk, but without risks, what are the biggest risks than taking none at all? Jackson Hayes at 5. Cam Reddish, no. Bobby Portis, that leaves me with a 52. So I can literally put Anthony Edwards in there if I wanted to. I don't know if that's a waste in that sense of that. I just don't love any of my guys. Like Jaren Jackson Jr. I could be looking at. I should probably look at Jaren Jackson Jr. In fact, Jaren Jackson Jr. at 36 with 2 games, one of them being the Spurs. That's a 16. That's a 38 that's there. Oh, do you know what? If I change the 2 of them, it's 21. This is an absolute car crash of a lineup that we're doing right now. But we're here for it, aren't we? Bobby Portis in there and KCP. I don't mind KCP with those 2 games, you know, but he's just not been hitting the heights. We'll lock that in. I don't hate that, but I feel like it could be a waste of Bobby Portis, but I'll lock that in for the time being. Stay with me as well. And, you know, I don't know why do I do the breaks? We should stay at rare, you know, a deeper level here. 12 left to play with. Jackson Hayes is going to go in here. Garuba's been not getting any minutes. Bol hasn't been seeing any floor time realistically. Javon Carter we'll put him in. Fontecchio or JaVale McGee kind of played a few and then has gone off the face of the earth. Sam Hauser, Cam Reddish. If I go Fotocino, there's no one in the 18s anyway. I think it's going to be Sam Hauser and Cam Reddish. It's not going to be Sam Hauser and Cam Reddish. It's going to be Sam Hauser and Fontecchio. That's going to be that lineup as well done. Do we do a street ball? Have you been playing street ball? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's what I do for street ball. And that's that lineup. So, and yes, that's going to wrap that video up there. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider hitting the subscribe button if you're new around here, or if you've been watching for a while now. Why are you not subbed? Sub down below. Consider hitting that like button as well, and I'll catch you in the next Sorare video or podcast.